And we are live here with cell phones going off. Welcome to Friday Night Draw, where Rodney and I will sit here and draw and tell all sorts of stories. Whoa, hey, look at that. It popped up. We got 2 people in here already.
What?
Cameron's here. Good evening, guys. How goes Friday for y'all?
What's up, Cameron? How we doing, buddy?
Shush, Producer A.
Excuse me.
All right. So, greetings and salutations. It's Friday night. It's time for Friday Night Draw. I'm here with my good buddy Rodney Fike. How we doing tonight, sir?
We're doing well. Doing well. How are you, my friend?
Doing pretty good. Getting ready to enjoy this lovely weather tomorrow.
Is it nice up there?
Yeah, it's actually not too bad. It's been a little muggy today, but tomorrow we are going to build out the garden.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. It's only supposed to be like 90-some degrees tomorrow.
Oh, that's not bad. As long as it don't hit triple digits, you're good.
Yeah.
That's the rule.
So we're going to go outside, and Steph watched many of YouTube videos the other night on making animal keeper outer things. So we're going to be trying one of those, and we'll let you know if we call the ambulance or not.
Yeah, I've had plenty of experience with those.
Right.
Well, so what all's going in the garden?
Oh, Cameron, hope your folks are doing better. Sorry to hear that. Hopefully y'all have enough cheese for the rodent. I don't know if there's such thing.
I don't know. Cheeses. Feel the awesome power of cheese. That's all I got to say.
Behold the power of the cheese.
That's right.
So as I go and try to share out our live stream video here to help out Producer B, Rodney, tell these 3 fine folks that are watching us, where can they find you on the interwebs?
Well, if one were so inclined as to search for me, they can find me on the interwebs at Rodney Fike Art on the Book of Face, and they can find me on Rodney_Fike on Instagram, and they can hop over to the YouTube channels and find me at Hasm on the YouTube channels. That's HAZZUM, or go to hasm.com, HAZZUM.com, where you can check out all of our books: Peanut Pudding and Jelly, Pitter Patter, Roadkill Rampage, and Unchained. What about you? If folks were searching for you,
well, they can find me on the Instagram, the Facebook, the Twitch, the whatnot, all at Sean Forney Art. And search the YouTubes for Sean Forney Art, and you'll find me, because I don't have one of those handy dandy handles yet. And you can visit SeanForney.com to find a link to our online store, where you can soon purchase our brand new printings of Scarlet Huntress 1 through 4.
Very nice. Very, very nice. I saw those today. You posted them.
I did.
You've been posting them for the last couple of days.
Yeah, I've been posting little teases of the art and all the process that went in there, and then the book showed up. And look at that! Producer A had me all geared up and ready to go.
Oh, good old Producer A.
So I got issue 1, got issue 2, a nice little Jim Lee homage. Issue 3, Tales Through Time. Issue 4 did a little homage to Tyler Crickham's Something Is Killing the Children cover.
Sweet.
So yeah, we got those. They're $5 a piece. I know some folks were asking about pricing and stuff, so there we go. Gearing up for the Contour 22, and getting ready to launch that Kickstarter in July.
Nice. Yeah, it's going to be the summer of the Kickstarter.
It will be. Not the summer of love, the summer of Kickstarters.
Nope. It'll be I guess June will be Roadkill Rampage month. So then July is Scarlet Huntress. Y'all are going to get tired of hearing from us.
Never.
Cameron says, did you hear about the special edition cheese that was made with special hip hop ripened cheese? No.
Is this a leg pulling edition?
Could be.
Because I am so totally lost.
Yeah, I'm like, did I miss a message? Yeah, it was. I went to the gym today and it was pretty freaking hot.
Yeah, we went and bought 15 bags of 1.5 cubic feet soil for the garden.
Nice.
I figured those probably weighed about 20, maybe 30 pounds a piece because they got soaked in the rain last night.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we picked those up and loaded those into the car, and then got home, loaded them into the wagon, took the wagon around back, unloaded them in the backyard.
Sweet.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a little toasty, a little moist.
Moist. Everybody's favorite word.
Oh yeah.
Well, see, what you need to do is when you're building that garden, you need to build you a cobblestone driveway back there, and so you can, for that single purpose of driving back there and working on your little oasis there.
Yeah. So producer A, what I believe Rodney is saying is we should build ourselves a stone path.
Yes.
Waiting for the
I can bury it for 50 years and some asshole can discover it and think there's treasure underneath it.
Yeah, she got it.
What'd she say?
She said so it can be buried and find it 50 years later, so some idiot can come along and think there's treasure buried.
Think how much you'll save on funeral costs. None will be the wiser. John can take that money and go to Barbados and drink mojitos.
There we go.
Is he more
So, Justin's in the house. It says, "What are you planning this year?" So far, we got tomatoes, jalapenos, horseradish.
Wait, horseradish?
Yeah,
So what does that consist of?
horseradish.
Horseradish. Okay, radish. Gotcha.
You don't know what horseradish is, or?
No, I'm just being silly. I know what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I know what. I love horseradish.
You got the rest of us wondering here. Tina, you might want to check them or have them looked at.
I said I was dizzy. I started off the show with that.
What else did we buy? We got I got shishito peppers, jalapenos. Still looking for like poblanos or some bell pepper, something like that. Garden center was. Oh yeah, we did get shallots. Got a bunch of herbs. Got tarragon, rosemary, basil, cilantro, parsley. Oh yes, I do love me some prime rib.
We're still looking for tomatillos.
Yeah, we got to find tomatillos. That's not on the list. Producer A, you should add that to the list. I wanted to grab some like other vegetables and stuff. Oh, I did get zucchini, squash, and cucumbers.
There we go. Now we're talking.
Yeah, so we got a little mix of everything, but there's still some stuff I want to hunt down that the nursery did not have. So we're searching all that out.
Sounds good to me.
We're
going to the vegetable market, the farmer's market.
Yeah. Did you hear that?
No.
She said, we're going to the farmer's market.
I love going to the farmer's market. Yeah, we'll still go to the farmer's market. I love the farmer's market. They grow stuff that I just don't know how to grow.
Right.
I love when the Amish show up with candy onions.
Oh, man. There you go.
And I'm still trying to figure out how I can grow the Amish cinnamon rolls, but nobody's told me the secret to that.
Whole lot of sugar.
So yeah, and Justin joined us in here. I don't know if Justin got to see you in person. We got the books you've been asking about. So we have them. They're here.
Look at the Nova stuff. That's awesome.
It takes more buggies than you have. Yeah. So a facilitator bailed on him. He's got to pick up a commission from the comic shop 11 hours away. Yeah, that don't work.
Oh, man, that sucks.
Refund.
Yeah. That's not good at all. At the very least, gas money.
Producer A has lost her Photoshop legacy shapes. Like you can't load them from files or preferences.
I don't know where they are.
You got to open up the little shape tool, and then you load them from there.
Yeah, I know where they are. I can't import the legacy ones because I don't know where they are.
Oh,
You have them saved somewhere?
just in the Photoshop files that it creates when you install Photoshop. There's got to be an online tutorial for restoring those.
That's weird.
Very weird. Oh, she had to reinstall Photoshop a week or two ago. It just kept crashing left and right.
That's not good.
The really old ones.
All right. Well, I might have to look at that after the stream because I gave my only solution that I know of.
What happened?
She lost her preset brushes. Is that what she said?
No, legacy shapes.
Legacy shapes.
Like the basic stuff, the word balloons and all the other stuff that Photoshop comes pre-installed with, but
Right.
they stopped doing that like 2 versions ago, so now you got to go and install legacy stuff. She's looking. Justin, we will get you set up, and I don't know if Rob's tuned in yet, but I know Rob wanted the books. I got to get him set up, and he had a cool idea of getting a Mothman remark on one of the books. I got to double check which one, though. As you can tell, Justin was a little busy today after working on some stuff. We unloaded all that dirt. Yeah, Steph's car does smell like the zoo now because we got zoo brew dirt.
Ooh.
Do we have CC?
It's made from zoo poop.
I don't know.
Yes. Are we working in CC?
Producer
Photoshop CC?
D wants to know if we're working in Photoshop CC.
Yeah, that's Creative Cloud.
Yeah, that's Creative Cloud.
Now where to go to the message?
Producer B told me to tell you to tell Producer A to go to the messenger.
Go to the messenger. Producer A.
She has Googled it.
Thank you.
She says thank you.
She is on point.
It was funny. The producers were chit chatting the other night on how to do file cleanup. I had to make producer A sit in the studio with me for a good like half hour or longer because somebody sent me. Oh my god, they're gonna remain nameless. But they sent me a file that. Oh my god, it just took forever to clean up.
It wasn't me.
No. No, this was somebody else, and the person that sent it to me, it wasn't their doing. It was the person that did the inks.
Right.
And it's a problem I've been trying to like figure out on my own. It's like, don't get me wrong, I love like the Copics, the Tombos, the what have yous, but it's not a true black. So when you scan it, you're getting just a really dark gray, and then
Yep.
you got to go in and clean up this mess. And when somebody doesn't clean up the pencils while they're inking, it's a nightmare.
Oh yeah. I would never even think to. I mean, I take such care in erasing a pencil and trying to not erase ink off of it.
Yeah, and that's the problem with like using like the like throwaway pens is what I call them.
Yeah.
Is like they pick up with the eraser pretty easily.
Yeah.
So it's like like tonight I was trying to ink some buildings on something, and it's like I have a ton of pencil laid down. So it's like I pulled out the repeatographs and even a crow quill for a little bit.
Yeah.
And it just the inking aspect takes a little bit longer, but I tend to get a better image quality later on, but sacrifice one for the other.
Exactly. Yeah, I've got a whole almost just about a whole set, everything I would need, but it's a chore keeping them clean, and sometimes they want to bleed on you, and so
Yeah.
it's a lot of work to keep them up and working.
Oh yeah, yeah. I decided after talking it over with producer A, the one of the next covers I've got on tap, it's getting some digital inks after some of the recent headaches.
Yeah.
Downloaded some new brushes from an artist who I've been following a little bit, and he's got some pretty slick inks, and he's made some tools that, I mean, he's got a crow quill brush, and it really mimics a crow quill.
Is he using Procreate or Photoshop?
Clip Studio.
Clip Studio. Okay. Hey, Edward's in the house. Hey, Edward. We're not ignoring you. We're just caught up in conversation. Wants to know if anybody's watching the new show on Amazon called Night Sky. Pretty interesting has a sci-fi background. Josh Brolin. Or no, that's the one on the Indian reservation, isn't it? That looks pretty good. We haven't started watching it. We have one more episode of Moon Knight to watch, and then we're going to finish up Showtime with the Lakers, and then pick up something new because we finished the Americans. So
I've got something new for you to pick up.
What's that?
Obi-Wan Kenobi starts next weekend.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I mean that's a given.
Stranger Things also starts next weekend.
Oh man, cannot wait. Cannot wait.
You and I haven't got a chance to talk, but I was talking about it in the the morning streams, I am like super excited to see what this John Watts Star Wars project is.
Yeah, that like really got me jazzed because it's kind of like the Goonies mixed with the Explorers, mixed with Stand By Me. You know,
Yeah,
I am all over that.
yeah. When I was reading about that and I was talking with a couple of buddies, it's like I think the ideal thing, like, because I'm assuming it's going to deal with a young band of rebels, and it might not at all, but my thought would be the Goonies meets Red Dawn.
Yeah, which is just fine with me.
I doubt they'll go that way, but I think that would be so cool.
Yeah, but I think they're going to be pre knowledge of using weapons. I think they're really going to be like kids.
Yeah,
which just kind of works for me too, because then you really get to see that innocence lost and stuff like that. So I don't know, we'll see. It's definitely I'm jazzed for it. And I also saw that, I don't know, you probably know more about this than I do, that Ryan Johnson still, his trilogy is back on.
well, it never went off. It's just always kind of been on the back burner since
Okay.
They started shuffling stuff around with all the movies and saying, okay, we're not doing movies, we're going to focus on the TV stuff. And then he signed a deal with Netflix, so he's still taking care of his Netflix responsibilities,
Obligations.
Yeah.
Okay. Excuse me. You want, hey, Brandon's in. You want to go ahead and bring him in?
We can do that.
All right, let's bring Brandon in.
There we go.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Brandon, how we doing, buddy?
Pretty good.
Long time.
These covers are looking dope. Yeah, long time. A few days ago, yeah.
Yeah. He was on with me on Blastcast last Saturday night with Russell the Love Muscle.
Excellent.
So, Brandon, for those folks that you're new to, why don't you tell them who you are and what you're doing?
Okay, yeah. So I'm Brandon Ingram. I'm a comic writer, as well as I kind of made my own publishing line to make my comics under, called Dismay Comics. And I'm currently running a Kickstarter for one of my major projects, which is the Gallows Man. This is an example right there. That's the first issue, the first cover. And yeah, basically running a Kickstarter for both issues 1 and 2 of the Gallows Man. For those that have never seen it or never heard of it, best way to describe it, brief synopsis, is it's set in the 1940s. It's very much a golden age story, a golden age comic, but with modern elements and silver age elements within it. Set in the 1940s, follows this superhero named the Gallows Man. It's very campy and satirically over the top world of superheroes. And the Gallows Man and his team, they have to take out this Nazi threat that has kind of infiltrated their city. It's this Nazi cult that's infiltrated their city. And the Gallows Man and his team have to take him out to save the city, but also to avenge the Gallows Man, his former mentor, Tonal wise, the best way to describe it is take the 1960s Adam West Batman show, like the fun campiness of that, and throw in some Tarantino movie violence. And that's kind of what you get with the Gallows Man.
I love it.
Thank you.
I love it.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
I mean, me as a writer, I'm very biased as this. Me being the writer, I really enjoyed writing it. I hope people enjoy reading it. I've got a lot of good responses on it. If people have negative responses on that, I'm all ears. Constructive criticism is always good. If you say it sucks, let me know why it sucks for you.
Right.
That always helps.
Yeah, you don't learn anything if everybody's just constantly, placating you and saying, "Oh, it was good, I liked it."
Yeah, exactly.
Got an issue with it.
Exactly. Even
let him know.
if you like it, and even if you like it, like if there's some stuff that you weren't really into, or stuff that you didn't really like, let me know. It helps me as a writer to have all sides of feedback, basically.
Yeah, definitely. So, I asked you this last week. What was your inspiration for the book?
Kind of. There's a few inspirations. Like the thing that drove me to actually write it was like superhero stuff was kind of the biggest it had ever been. When I wrote the first script for it, I wrote it as a screenplay at first back in late 2017. And when I wrote that, that's like a few months before Infinity War comes out. So
Right.
superhero stuff was kind of the biggest it had ever been. I had written a good bit of like various stuff like horror stories and different stuff. I'd never written like a feature-length superhero story. And if I was going to do that, with superheroes being so big at the time and there being so much superhero stuff at the time, I really wanted to do something different if I was going to do superheroes, because I love superheroes.
Yeah.
But a lot of inspiration comes from golden age comics of having characters that can have like these rough names, like Gallows Man. That's a rough name for a character, and yet like you still kind of had people look at the character and be like, "Oh, thank you, Gallows Man. Thank you for saving the day. Woo!" Basically, like how children look up to Spider-Man. Like it in this world, and writing this, imagining like a little 5 or 6 year old looking up to Gallows Man, being like, "Wow, Gallows Man, this superhero that like kills people in kind of some very rough ways." It's like, "Wow, I want to be like you one day, Gallows Man." Like kind of inspiration from Golden Age comics, as well as like Silver Age comics, where it's like fun. A lot of the Silver Age is just kind of fun and some campiness with that, and that kind of goes into the 1960s Batman show, like the fun campiness within that, and that's kind of how it ultimately came to be with those inspirations.
There we go.
As well as like my love for like movies, like Quentin Tarantino movies, and kind of just like being like, yeah, like 1960s Batman show, but like, what if it was kind of a dark comedy?
Yeah, I mean, I can totally see it, because I was, I think Russell was the one that commented on it. Is that they're having a conversation and it's funny, and then all of a sudden he stops and beats the hell out of somebody.
Yeah,
beats into a bloody pulp.
Yeah, and those are actual real reviews on it. My first Kickstarter that I did a year ago for the first issue, I didn't have anybody like review it at the time that I was printing it, and so I just came up with reviews, and like I printed it on the back of the first issue. It says, let's see, on the first one, it says, "Well, I can say it as a comic book." It says Grant Morrison, not that one. And then the other one, it says, "Boy, do I feel sorry for whoever had to raise this so-called writer." It says the writer's mom, that one. I joke. My mom is very supportive. I Asked her if it was all right if I did that though. But
That's awesome,
but
man.
as issue 1 came out last year and stuff, actual people were reviewing it and stuff. So I pulled some reviews from there.
That's cool. And I think people are going to be surprised with your sense of humor. I found it refreshing, so I thought it was fun.
Thank you. Yeah, it's. I tried to make it unique, as well as ultimately what I want out of this is just like a fun time. Like hopefully you get like a couple laughs from it, but just a fun book to read because. I love a lot of the stuff that's being put out by like mainstream comics, but when it comes to like other than all ages books, like what some would consider children's books, other than those, you kind of have to go to indies to find like comedies or like even like adult comedies like this. Like this one, I have it rated M for mature, but there's no suggestive themes. There's no sexual themes. There's no like alcohol or smoking or language. It's literally mature, rated M for mature because of like some of the violence and a little bit of the gore and stuff.
And that's right up my alley, so I'm good.
It sounds like a lot of fun. I mean, kind of just producer B scrolling through the Kickstarter preview and stuff. Looks like fun. Sounds like fun.
Thank you.
I'm totally digging on the idea of what you're saying, like the campiness of the '60s Batman show meeting, like the violence of, something more modern day.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of a blending of various comic ages, because there is golden age with the time period as well as the art and how it feels, and then there's silver age with that fun campiness with it, and then with more modern, the violence that's within it.
And this is for the second issue. Is that correct? That's correct, right?
This Kickstarter is for both issues 1 and 2.
There you go.
At the beginning, I kind of show like issue 2, just for those that backed the Kickstarter last year for issue 1, just kind of like letting them know, like, hey, if you just want to dive straight into issue 2, you can. But there's also like reward tiers for those that are like wanting to catch up, like get into it, read issues 1 and 2. All that stuff. There's reward tiers for pretty much everyone in that realm.
Nice.
That's cool.
Edward says sounds interesting. Justin says if I think a word's missing. If don't want to be like Homelander, why be a hero, right?
That is the thing, is like with this, it's not as much as like, because I like the boys, but it's not as much like crapping on superheroes, because ultimately Garth Ennis, he does hate superheroes.
Right.
It's more of just like having a little joke, a little fun with it, because there's some stuff within this, like Gallows Man has his alter ego, his like day job. He has to take off the mask and all that. He works at a funeral parlor. And like it's very fitting for his character, and there's some funny stuff within that, but like example of kind of a little fun with that is he works at a funeral parlor. He acts almost exactly the same as he does when he has the Gallows Man suit and everything, as well as when he rides his bike to work, and his bike is the same color scheme as his costume as Gallows Man. So you have all this stuff, and it's kind of like the Superman Clark Kent thing of like, how does no one know that Superman, like Clark Kent Superman, that sort of thing. But kind of like just a little fun with that, with Gallows Man, is like you have all these things, but like no one really notices. Like Gallows Man is the superhero within Town City. That's the city within Gallows Man. But no one like puts those two things together. But it's fitting for this universe, this town, that like no one would really put that together.
I love it. So does he get to does he prep and bury some of the people that he kills?
Not entirely. There are some victims from the Nazis that he has to prep and bury.
Oh, okay.
And this also plays into some of the comedy and stuff, and it's a little bit absurd, but like they'll go out to eat, like him and his boss, Mr. Johnson, because you can't just be around the dead bodies all day. But he does enjoy his job. He's working with these cadavers with a smile on his face up until lunchtime. Lunchtime, they go and get some chicken and fries, and then they come back and they're like, all right, let's get back to work. And they're eating their lunch over one of these dead bodies on a slab.
Nice.
Just kind of, I know it wasn't entirely this far in terms of like being unsanitary in the 1940s, but kind of playing into that of like, yeah, they weren't entirely, sanitation wasn't entirely a big thing at that time.
Oh, look, we got a little mustard on his nose. Just blend it in.
just I'll get my French fry and wipe it off. It'll be all good.
Well, embalming fluid never hurt anybody.
Yeah. You'd be amazed at how good it tastes.
So with really the 1940s and the Nazi group that you're talking about, that's the villains. Like anytime I hear that and think about it, I immediately go towards like Indiana Jones. Does it have like that kind of vibe with the Nazis, or is it?
I'll say this: the main villain, his name's Major Swastika. He has a insane, weird obsession with swastikas.
Okay.
To where it's on his face, basically the design. But with that, he's kind of this big guy, kind of like buff and stuff. But when you see him speak for the first time, you'll notice like the dialogue is spelt a little bit weird. There's a purpose for that because he's speaking English, but he has like this thick Nazi Germany accent, but he also has like an Elmer Fudd speech impediment. So he's saying like, "Oh, Gallows Man, I'm gonna get you," like changing the like wascally wabbit and stuff like that.
Oh God, that's awesome.
Yeah, and he's not a good leader at all. One, he's a Nazi. That's worst of all. But he's also not a good leader because he just doesn't treat his henchmen that well. He'll just dispatch them for snickering at him. Like that's in the first issue. Like he speaks for the first time and there's a henchman like in the crowd of henchmen just like snicker a little. He's like, "What was that? Who said that?" Like, and yeah, it gets a little bit crazy.
I love it. It just sounds hilarious.
Yeah, it does. That's a book that totally needs a voiceover. Need a audio comic book to go along.
That's the thing is like of any type of adaptation, like a radio show or something like that for this would be very fitting for it.
Oh yeah.
Didn't you and Russ do a dramatic reading?
We did. Yeah. We did a dramatic reading of the first like 12 pages, roughly 12 pages. We tried our best. It turned out pretty funny though.
Oh, and I got to check that out.
Yeah,
I said that the other night, but I never got around to it. But I definitely want to.
Yeah. It's definitely an interesting little tale because I mean like issue 1 itself is like a really thick book. It's just in story 49 pages. In issue 1, it's 49 pages of story, as well as like some bonus stuff, like some behind the scenes stuff. In issue 2 is the same thing. It's 49 pages of story, as well as some bonus stuff. And like when it comes to the Kickstarter tiers, like there's tiers that range from $1 all the way to $70. Like there's literally a tier for anyone's budget, because I know the cost of things are insane right now. Gas is really insane. I try to convince my work for me to work from home as much as I can because of that. As well as just groceries are pretty expensive now. So there's a tier for anyone's budget, and any little bit helps. And if you simply just want to read it digitally, you can get both copies, both issue 1 and 2 digitally, for just $8. So like almost 100 pages of story plus some behind the scenes material and stuff, just for $8. And then like physical copies start at $10. It just goes from there. There's some catch up reward tiers. There's even like the far end, the $70 tier. That's a metal cover variant. It's like for the ultra collectors out there, because I'm only going to make it's a metal cover variant of issue 1. So it'll look like this, but metal basically.
Gotcha.
And I'm only going to make no more than 25 of those ever. Like I'm not going to reprint them or anything like that. There's just going to be 25 ever in existence. So those are going to be extremely rare. Plus, realistically, I'm going to keep one of those for myself and have one of those that I take to like comic conventions. So realistically, there's only going to be like 23 out there.
There you go.
But yeah, again, there's a reward tier for literally anyone for this, and every bit helps. Every bit helps. We're working towards our second stretch goal right now. We're just $100 away from that second stretch goal, to where once we hit that, all physical backers will get a sticker. It's a no butt sticker. It's Gallows Man yelling at Newsboy, who's the sidekick. He's yelling no butts. It's within the comic, and it's also on the Kickstarter page.
Did you say Newsboy?
Yes. Okay. So that's something I forgot to mention is
It's like, yeah, rewind. Let's cover that.
very so I mentioned that 1960s Batman feel. There's other influences from not only that show, but just like Batman in general. Gallows Man has a sidekick named Newsboy, and it's like this. It's like classic Robin, where it's like a 10 to 13-year-old boy, basically a boy you're not sure if he's even hit puberty yet. It's this little boy who is wearing like this executioner outfit. That's his costume, and he's a very fun and funny character, but there's obviously something going on there for him to be a part of the Gallows Man's war on crime, basically. But it's they have a good dynamic, both Gallows Man and Newsboy. You have Newsboy sometimes doing like the classic 1960s Robin stuff. Newsboy would be like, golly gee, Gallows Man, like that sort of stuff. They have a good dynamic. And also other people on their team, you have Bertwald the butler. It's not Gallows Man's butler, but it's the butler of this billionaire philanthropist named Jamie Oakley. He's basically like the Gallows Man's backer. Like he funds the Gallows Man's ventures and stuff. Okay. And those four are basically a team. Like Jamie, he supports them with the money and being able to get various gadgets and stuff. Bertwald, he's there supporting them, getting them deli sandwiches every time they meet. He's very supportive. And then, like Gallows Man and Newsboy have a good dynamic relationship there.
Well, you can't fight crime if you haven't had a proper sandwich.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, exactly. You can't do this on an empty stomach.
Exactly.
Please tell me there's like a line from Newsboy going, gee, Gallows Man, who are we going to kill tonight?
Well, hold on. There's a not entirely that. You'll either cringe at this or fake laugh at this. Let me find it real quick. This is like towards the beginning of issue 1. There's a scene where Gallows Man and Newsboy, they've beaten this character named the Walrus, like he's tied to the Nazis. They've beaten him, and they're walking out of like the warehouse that he's in. And Newsboy's like, "Hey, Gallows Man." Gallows Man says, "Yes, Newsboy." Newsboy, "I bet when Jackal," who's the other villain, "I bet when Jackal asked Walrus to come hang out, this wasn't what he had in mind." I forgot to mention they hung both Walrus and Jackal. And so when Newsboy says, "I bet this wasn't what they had in mind when hanging out," and Gallows Man's like, "Ha ha, it sure wasn't, Newsboy." And as they're walking out, you see all the dead bodies in the background. And Gallows Man's like, "It sure wasn't." So I wasn't able to do it that much justice because I kept leaving out context as I was reading that. But
No, but
there's
it
various
makes sense
jokes
and it
like
sounds
that.
funny, dude.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
it's very kick-ass.
Yeah.
But
it's
Sean, are you familiar with Megaton Man? Don Simpson's Megaton Man?
Never read it. I know what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah, it's very reminiscent of that, and I loved Megaton Man growing up.
Yeah.
So.
When you had mentioned that Saturday, like I'm still, I want to see if there's like a trade or something because I really want to read that now.
Well, it was
talking about it.
Kitchen Sink Comics was the original publisher of that.
I gotcha.
I don't know if they ever, because I don't think they're around anymore. I don't know if those were ever combined into a trade.
I gotcha.
I know at some point Dark Horse acquired some of those properties, and they might have done that, or maybe IDW, or they're the people doing that now in Boom Studios.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
As far as I know, the guy that created it, he still has ownership of it.
Yeah.
Because I worked on a couple issues of that Battle of the Independence or War of the Independence or whatever that book was called. And that character made an appearance in one of the books that I worked on.
Okay.
So he's still out there in some respects.
Yeah, he was at Gem City last year.
Okay.
Right across from us.
Okay.
Like you were in front of us, he was to the left of us.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So Brandon, what part of the country do you hail from?
Northwest Florida. Like Florida's basically 3 states in itself, like South Florida, Central Florida, and then North Florida. The northern part, that's basically just Alabama.
South Alabama.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent.
I like it. Well, this sounds like a ton of fun. I know you got to get going, but we hopped on, and I believe we backed it the other day.
Thank you.
So I'm looking really forward to reading it because I'm a fan of all that funny, campy stuff, and I'm, as a writer myself, as we talk, I'm coming up with all these ideas.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait to get my hands on it and check it out.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
I don't know if producer A has backed for us, but I definitely want to check this out because it just the best part so far is the villain talking like Elmer Fudd. I'm not gonna get that out of my head now.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But yeah, it's going good. We're fully funded, working towards that second stretch goal. We've got a 42 backer giveaway coming up, so we're just 6 backers away from that. That stretch goal, again, just $100 away from that, and people will get those no butt stickers. But I'll briefly just show examples of some of the stickers, and there's going to be a bookmark that we've already hit with this Kickstarter as the first stretch goal. But I'll show examples from the first Kickstarter stuff. Like this was the bookmark from the first Kickstarter. You got Gallows Man saying, "Remember, kids, reading is power." Because a guy like Gallows Man, he is perfect for public service announcements. You also got a sticker of him.
I love it.
We got Dismay Comics sticker. There's a poop joke sticker. I forgot to mention he has a dog named Hangmutt who also wears the mask. It says, "I bet you've started your morning or I see you've started your morning duties already. And then a Gallows Man title sticker. And with this little poop joke sticker, I should also mention, just adding to the absurd humor of it, Gallows Man, when he wakes up, he's in his tidy whities, but he sleeps with his mask on, like his superhero mask. So he wakes up in tidy whities, but he still has that big old Gallows Man mask on. So ultimately, Gallows Man is who he is, and then his alter ego is, he enjoys doing that, but even when he's doing that, he's still talking and acting like Gallows Man.
Gotcha. I love it. So if people are interested in looking you up, where might they be able to find you?
Yeah, they can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Dismay Comics. That's DISMAY Comics. I've got the link to the Kickstarter within my bio, as well as you can just follow along as I'm making indie comics such as the Gallows Man and eventually some other titles and stuff like that.
That's cool. We got the producers are on the ball. They popped the links up there in the chat, in the comments. So there we have it. It's sounds like a lot of fun. I can't wait to get my grubby little mitts on it.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Laugh my ass off. So I am all over it.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to checking this out. And I think we always say it on here, but everybody watching, listening, maybe it's not your bag or whatever, you can't back it, whatever the reason is, give it a share. That helps immensely.
Oh yeah. And definitely at least just check out the Kickstarter page. Watch the video. A lot of effort is put into these Kickstarter trailers because I for some reason obsess over any little creative thing like the trailer, and I wanted to be funny and be the best it can be. I got a 1940s radio announcer voice to narrate the trailer and stuff. It's really funny.
Man.
Awesome.
And also you can look through the Kickstarter. There's 7 preview pages from issue 1. There's 7 preview pages from issue 2. So 14 preview pages of the whole thing. And there's more material you can read on the Kickstarter page and just see if it's for you. If it isn't for you and you backed it, pawn it off on a friend.
There you go. Re-gift.
Yeah.
There you go.
Stocking. You say stocking stuffer?
Exactly.
Hey, give the gift of reading.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, Brianna, we're going to go ahead and let you go. So
Thank you, man.
Get to what you have to get to, and we appreciate you coming on. It sounds really funny, and we wish you the absolute best, most success with it. And when you're getting ready for issue 3, we'll have you come back on and talk about issue 3.
Heck yeah. Yeah. Thank you guys so much.
All right, buddy. You have a good night. Have a great weekend, and we will see you soon.
Y'all take care.
You too.
Yeah, there was that just sounds hilarious.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I just I'd forgotten that he stutters like Elmer Fudd.
Oh god, like I said, excuse me, that needs like an audio version. I'm glad he's got a video that sounds like the 1940s radio announcer, because it totally needs that.
Yeah, absolutely.
As soon as he started describing stuff, that's what I heard in my head.
Yep. So he's it sounds like we have very similar senses of humor. So I'm sure I'm going to love this book, because when I saw the illustrations of him, I thought, I just called him Megaton Man. That's exactly who I thought of, and that's exactly what Megaton Man is. It's just silly, stupid humor, campy superhero stuff from the 60s. That's when that book is set in the 60s. So yeah, I can't wait to get a hold of it. All right. Well, it looks like the audience dried up.
Edward said he had to go, and I don't know where everybody else disappeared to.
They're going and checking out the Gallows Man Kickstarter.
I hope so.
Yes. Yeah, it's Friday night. People are going to go listen to some of the devil's music and drink some of the devil's wine.
Sounds good to me. You left out the devil's lettuce, though.
That's right. What? You don't want none of this. Yeah, well, I'm good for a 9 o'clock night.
Oh, that works for me.
Yeah. Did you ever see Walk Hard with John C. Reilly and Tim Meadows?
I think I've seen bits and pieces of it. I don't think I watched the whole thing.
It is so funny. It's a spoof, basically a spoof biographical tale of Johnny Cash's life.
Yeah, because they released it like the year after they did the Johnny Cash one.
Yeah, 2008.
I saw the Johnny Cash one.
It's hilarious.
Again, I know I've at least watched little bits and pieces of it, but I don't know if I ever sat down and watched the whole thing.
Well, they just there's a clip going around on Instagram, and I just saw it right before the stream about he walks into one of the back rooms, and Tim Meadows and one of the girls are back there smoking weed, and he's like, "You don't want none of this, so and so," and he's like, "Yeah, I think I might." He goes, "No, you don't want none of this." And he says, "Well," he's like, "Does it? I don't need no hangover." He goes, "It doesn't give you hangovers," and just all this stuff, and it's just it's funny. You should check it out.
All right, yeah, I gotta either rewatch it or watch it. Like I said, I know I've seen little bits and pieces, but like the whole thing is not coming to mind.
Yeah, it's John C. Reilly. It is one of his funniest roles, I think.
Nice.
And Timothy Meadows is actually really funny in it too. He plays like his best friend and guy in the band.
Well, since like nobody's hanging out and it's whatever. And speaking of band, we secured tickets for Clapton today.
Oh, you bastard! Oh man, where's he? Where at?
Schottenstein Center.
Okay, that's cool.
I figured this is probably my one and only chance to go see him live, so I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, he's one of my bucket list guys. We got to see Billy Joel a couple years back.
Nice.
So that was awesome.
Hoping he breaks out some of the old Cream tunes and.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he will. So Derek and the Dominoes, as long as he plays Layla.
Yeah. See if Steph can sit through the whole instrumental part of Layla.
Oh, that's the best part.
I know. She always changes the station when I'm listening to it.
Yeah, producer B's not on all those long musical things. That's Dwayne Allman playing slide guitar.
Yeah, it is.
It's rock royalty, folks.
Well, not when I'm in the car for 2 hours and the musical thing lasts 2 hours.
You have to appreciate the experience.
Not when I'm the one driving and I'm trying to stay awake.
Yeah. Was that your way of telling me it's time to go?
Sure.
Hey, looky there. The clock strikes 9.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I was coming over to defend myself. I like it. It's just always that it comes on when we're in the car and I'm like trying to stay awake. And it's like, oh my God. How many more mile markers will this last?
At least 10.
She wouldn't do well at an Allman Brothers concert.
Yeah, I don't think I would either, but.
Shermie, we're getting off the show. We're ending it early tonight, so you can go get snubs. I know it's been rough this week.
He's all about the snugs, man. That's all he cares about.
Well, that's because we haven't been going to bed till 12:30, 1 o'clock, and
I
the
know.
poor cat hasn't had any snug.
He hasn't had snug time, Sean.
Yeah,
Come on.
Indy's been doing the same thing. We haven't been finishing up stuff until like almost 10 o'clock some nights, and we'll sit there and we'll try to watch an episode of something, and we're falling asleep trying to watch it, and Indy is like trying to get up the stairs. Like, come on, guys, I am tired. Let's go to bed. Screw you guys. I'm going to bed without you.
We went to bed the other night at 1:20.
Oh, Jesus.
Back at it at 8:15.
No spank you.
Yeah. So
That is a good night's sleep. 1:20 to 8:15. That's 7 hours of sleep.
yeah.
I'd like 10, please.
Can we get 10? Can we get 10?
No.
I got 8.5. I got 8.5.
All the experts say
Can
that's too much.
Can I get 9? Yeah, everybody says you should only get 7.
Yeah.
So you know what? What do they say about 5? Because that seems to be what I get.
And look how much you get done.
Well, and just you wait. Wait till you see those Colossal Con hours.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Don't worry, those drinks are big. They
I'm gonna
last
need
like
them to,
maybe an
because
hour.
I'm going to have a whole bucket full of painkillers and muscle relaxers. Get me through.
I'll have those too, but that's going to be from climbing off and on the water slides.
Oh, that's right. We have to bring our trunks.
Yeah, you do.
We can do that. We can definitely do that. All right, folks. We're gonna bounce, since we are just talking amongst ourselves anyway. Sean, talk us out, buddy.
All right, folks. Thanks for that one folk that turned up and listened to us. Probably one of the producers. And everybody have a great weekend. Enjoy the warm weather. Come back and join us next week. We got to talk a little off camera to figure out what's going on next week. But we will see you soon. So, good night, everybody.